Good evening once again. I'm Stephanie Ruhle. The Russian invasion of Ukraine is entering its 30th day, marking the beginning of a second month of war. Today, as Russia continued attacking Ukraine's cities and Ukrainian forces fought back, President Biden was at an emergency summit in Brussels, meeting with members of NATO, the European Union, and the G7. Ukraine's President Zelensky spoke to the NATO allies virtually, warning the alliance still isn't doing enough to help. He also accused Russia of using devastating phosphorus bombs, a troubling accusation the U.S. has yet to confirm. The accusation adds to the growing fear that Vladimir Putin may turn to chemical or biological weapons in his struggle to take over Ukraine. Today, Biden and U.S. allies warned that would not go unanswered.
We would respond. We would respond if he uses it. The nature of the response would depend on the nature of the use.
Also today, more promises of additional humanitarian and military aid for Ukraine, and yet another round of sanctions against Russia. But as one reporter pointed out to the president, those economic hits have yet to deter Putin.
I did not say that, in fact, the sanctions would deter him. Sanctions never deter. You keep talking about that. Sanctions never deter. The maintenance of sanctions, the increasing the pain, that's what will stop him.
The president is traveling to Poland tomorrow. That country has taken in more than 3.6 million refugees who have fled Ukraine so far. Most of them. Today, the U.S. agreed to accept 100,000 refugees. NBC's Richard Engel has more on the situation and the situation they're leaving behind.
Russia has by now all but flattened Mariupol. New images released by officials in Mariupol show the once thriving port city has been devastated by Russian bombs. Ukrainian officials say 100,000 people remain in Mariupol and they're cut off without food or water. U.S. military officials say Russia is now concentrating its assault on the east of Ukraine, around Mariupol, close to the Russian border. Russia has begun to resupply its troops there. Russian television showing the arrival of a landing ship in a port on the Sea of Azov, with fighting vehicles unloaded and readied for battle. Today, Russia's plans took a turn. The ship was in flames. Ukrainian forces claim they destroyed it this morning and damaged 2 other Russian vessels. Russia's new focus on the east may be out of duress. Ukrainian forces are making advances around Kyiv, pushing back Russian troops from the capital. But Russia's air bombardment hasn't stopped.
Our thanks to Richard Engel. There's also important news tonight here at home. A stunning new development in the January 6th investigation involving the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. A source tells NBC News the January 6th committee has several text messages between Ginny Thomas and former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows about keeping Donald Trump in office after he lost the 2020 election.